Hi everyone, Susan, don't laugh. Hi
Hi.
everyone, welcome to Ask the Officer Online. This week it's hosted by myself, VP Skebby. We've got Susan and Tabitha here as well, and I know that Adele is going to join us shortly. So if you have any questions for us or anything you want us to talk about, please feel free to just post a comment down below and we'll highlight it and we can discuss any topics that you want us to. So just a quick question to start us off. What have you been working on?
Do you want to go first, Tabitha, or do you want me to go first? I don't
Oh,
mind.
you go ahead. Go ahead, Susie D.
You want me to go? Right, okay. So what have I been working on? Quite a lot of things. I've been working with the university on getting extra exam time for students. So anybody who's sitting an online exam will get an extra 15 minutes per hour, which I think is great. This is for majority of students. Some students depends if it's accredited. Some I think nursing students they have to do it in a certain time. It's really for students who are having to upload a lot of stuff. But if people have got lots of stuff to upload, they'll get extra time, and it doesn't include RAPs for students with disabilities. They'll get extra time. They'll still get the 50 minutes, but they'll get extra time on top of that as needed. So that's been really good. I think that's a win. I thought that was great for students. We had our Sustainable Development Goal Society meeting, which you guys were at. Thank you for coming, and hopefully you guys are part of the committee. And we had our Pro Vice Chancellor in attendance as well, Cam Donaldson, and basically discussed how we're going to take the society forward and how to embed the Sustainable Development Goals into Student Association and the wider community. And so basically, I think we all agreed that we're going to do an education campaign just to let everybody know what the Sustainable Development Goals are and why they're important. So that's one thing, but I could be here all day telling you what I've been up to. I'll let somebody else sort of take a wee turn. I'll come back later.
Perfect. Hi Adele, I've just noticed that you've joined. I think you need
Hello.
to press a button at the bottom. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, there I am.
There
Hi
you
guys.
are.
How you guys
Hi.
doing?
Fine,
Good,
fine.
good, thank you. How are you?
I've been okay, just busy with work, like you
Yeah.
guys.
Okay, perfect. Tabitha, do you want to talk about what you've been working on?
I've literally just been going to a lot of meetings, but then I've also been working on the Tackling Racism group. So we've officially started a new group, which is quite great because then now we can take the objectives further and actually get them implemented within the university. So a lot of work has been doing that and educating myself on decolonizing the curriculum. So I attended the Advanced HE webinar about that just to get myself more informed about what's happening out there, what's really happening, mistakes other institutions have done, and other things that people are doing, so that when I'm asked to input on that issue, I'm more knowledgeable. So I've been doing a lot of studying and reading and learning about decolonizing the curriculum and just trying to get myself involved in whatever's out there at the moment in terms of that. Yeah, and just attending my meetings and working on the engagement plan and just working on towards Christmas and what we're going to do for the international students and other students who are planning to stay home, stay in Glasgow for Christmas.
Perfect, thanks Tabitha. Adele, do you want to share what you've been working on?
Yeah, so basically I've been involved in the SDG work stream from the university. So it's an initiative by the university which has multiple work streams, including decolonizing including the curriculum as well. It's similar to what we're doing as the SDG Society and at the Students Association, but it kind of has multiple work streams, so it overlaps what we're doing as well. I don't know, most of my time I've recently I've just spent like writing reports and papers for Student Voice, and the executive committee and stuff. So I'm pretty sure you guys know about it, like how much time consuming writing papers is. Yeah, that's kind of the brief summary of what I've just been up to.
Perfect. Just for anyone that's just joined, I know our numbers have gone up a bit more. Feel free to ask us a question in the comment section if you want to know anything specific, or if you want to just have a general chat, just post it and we'll highlight it on the screen and just try and get through all the comments. Just myself, things I've been working on, which is really exciting to share, is I've been working with the Sports Council Chair and Sports Council on the Sports Awards night. So this is going to be on Saturday, the 12th of December from 7 p.m. It's basically sports ball was cancelled last year due to the coronavirus. So we're having an awards night to recognise all of our incredible sports teams and be able to still award them and say thanks for all their work over the 2019 year. So it'll be great to see as many of you as we can. I know you guys are all invited as well. So
yeah, no, that'd be brilliant. That'd be really good.
yeah, it'll be such a good night. So a lot of my time is just going to be planning that right now. Also, Rainbow Laces week with Stonewalls is coming up next week, and there's a specific Rainbow Laces day. So myself and the Sports Council Chair have been in meetings with the LGBT plus officer and just ways that we can celebrate and highlight LGBT sport within GCU Wolves as a whole. So just been busy with things like that. Obviously, we were all filming on campus as well in the previous weeks. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. We've just got a quick question from Bethany. Hi Bethany, thanks for watching. So just the question is, what is teaching going to look like for trimester 2? And will it all be online again? I think Susan, do you want to answer this one? I feel like you know
Yeah,
all
sure. Yeah. I know you guys know as well, but basically, yeah, it's going to be the same as Tri-A, unfortunately. Obviously, just with coronavirus, nothing's really changed. We're still in tier 4 at the moment. Even if we go back down to tier 3, it's still going to be the same when it comes to Tri-B. Sorry, my wee dog's crying in the background, so I'm sorry if you can hear her. I don't think she wants.
We can hear.
So basically, it'll be the same. You will, unless you are told otherwise by your module leader, then you will be working online from home. And there will be some classes, I think with less than 10% attending classes on campus this end of the year. For Tri-B, there'll possibly be more, because I know that we've got, we withheld a lot of classes for students hoping that Tri-B would look slightly different, but obviously it's not going to. So the numbers might slightly rise in Tri-B, but unfortunately it looks as if it's going to be the same, which is a shame for everybody, but obviously we'll have to go by government guidelines.
Yeah, perfect. So just something else that will be happening in Tri-B that we've started to plan is our Refreshers Week. So our Refreshers Week is going to run from the 18th of January, and it's going to be similar to Freshers Week, just on a smaller scale. So you'll still have your chance to join all your sports societies, groups. There'll be a few events on. There'll definitely be quite a lot of sports and societies events as well. So it would be great to see everyone get as involved in Refreshers Week as you can. And if there's anything specifically you want to see out of the week, please just let one of us know, and we'll do whatever we can to make sure it's still a Refreshers to remember, although it will be online again.
Yeah, I think it was amazing, because I know I missed my freshers because I came in late, but I attended the Refreshers. It was quite fantastic. It was really good. So looking forward to it.
I think it's a good opportunity for people who missed the first freshers, the initial one, because I missed multiple initial freshers as well. So yeah, it's it's going to be good, like always.
So can I answer a question there from Jessica, if that's okay?
Yeah,
when you've got
of course.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
She was just asking about the Student Testing Centre. So I've been in discussions with the university the past few days regarding the Student Testing Centre to be extended. I know we've had quite a few students contacting us saying that obviously the timeline doesn't really suit them. However, the reason why the date was to the 12th is so that people could then, if they were positive, they could self-isolate up to Christmas, and then they could go home safe for Christmas. But the university have said that if students contact them as soon as possible, so I would say if anybody's like contact them by the beginning of next week, and let them know if due to placement or work commitments that they can't be tested up until the 12th, then what I would say is contact the university and they will put things in place, if possible, to make sure that you sort of get tested the following week after the 12th. What we have suggested is, even if people are going away later, it would still be good to book in to get yourself tested, and then 3 days later get the other test, and then maybe sort of, like if you're not working or if you're just working online, just sort of stay isolated, lie low as such, and then that way you know that you're safe when it comes to sort of finishing up. So there's a few ways there for students, to make sure that they're safe. Hope that answers that, Jess.
I had a lot of students coming to me as well regarding the testing sites closing after 12th of December. And so I did talk to the chief operating officer of the university, which you guys know of, and she kind of said the same thing, that if students do face some problem and they want to get tested after the 12th, they actually can if they contact the university. So there's a list of things she sent me, and if any of the students, fall under those lists, they can always contact the university and do get tested after the 12th. So it's not like a deadline. It's it's if you face a circumstance, you can always get tested after the 12th.
Yeah, but it's just obviously it was the same email the same email chain that the bosses were in with Susan Mitchell as the Chief Operating Officer, in which she's advised though, even though I know what Adil's saying, they did say you can after the 12th, but you can't just sort of book in after the 12th. So you have to let them know in advance if you would like to be tested after the 12th. So that's really, really important. If you leave it to the last minute, it won't be possible. So what I would say is, by the beginning of next week, if you're wanting tested after the 12th through, not just because you don't want to come, a bit earlier, a valid reason because of your placement, because of work, or maybe because you're travelling home later, then let them know, let the university know, or give one of us, drop one of us an email and we'll give you the details of who to contact.
Perfect. Jess just says as well on that, thanks, Susan.
No problem, Jess.
That's really great to know for all students. I'm sure it will be, as Adil said as well. But if anyone has any questions as well, we're currently doing Ask the Officer on campus. So you can find me on campus in the library tomorrow between 11 and 1. However, it is only for students that are already booked to go into the library. So please don't travel into campus just to ask me a question. You can message all of us on Facebook or social media whenever. I know that Adil does Wednesdays and Tabitha does Thursday slots as well, just until the end of the trimester.
So will we talk about do you mind if I sort of just say what we're going to be doing over Christmas? So is that all right?
Great. Yeah.
So we're going to be doing an engagement plan over Christmas. So hopefully all of us will be involved in one, if not more than one. So basically, we will be doing a few really small different events over the festive holidays, over the 3 weeks. So it'll be 2 or 3 20-minute events. It'll be competitions, it'll be quizzes, it'll be bake-offs, you name it, we've got it. That'll be like part of the engagement plan over the week. What you will get is a prize for Just Eat or Uber Eats, and you'll get it immediately. So if you join and there's only half a dozen people that day, and you win the prize, it'll get pinged to your inbox immediately, which means that you can have pizza for your dinner that night or whatever you like. So we're going to be doing that about 3 times throughout the week. I'll be hosting. Hopefully Adil, Tabitha and Zoe will be able to join. I know people have got plans over the holidays that hopefully you'll see all of us or some of us throughout. So that'll start from the 21st of December. And that will go right through. So all the details will be on the website, gcustudents.co.uk, and will be featured in the countdown, the Student Life countdown to Christmas. Have you guys been on that? It's really good.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Should look at it.
Yeah, you should. You click on it and it takes you to, it's almost like an advent calendar type thing, and it gives you a list of what's on. So yeah, and then we'll be featured in there as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Susan. Hopefully, as Susan said, some of you will be able to join us for all of our festive activities. That Susan's doing great and taking a lead in planning this for all the students. And there is just the website just there. Someone's put in the chat. So just in regards to what we've been working on, being positive right now, what's something that you're working on that you're really enjoying?
Go ahead, Adam.
No, Tabitha, you go on.
So I think I've been talking to the team about this a lot, but so the social innovation team is launching or has launched a program called Social Shifters. And it's actually quite exciting just to see what's going on with that, and just working on a social media strategy of how to help them advertise that has been something I've been working on. So things should start going on my social media from next week, because that's the plan I've put in place. It's just going to be exciting to see how students engage with all these social innovation activities on campus. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I won't give up too much right now because I'm still working on it, but look out for it on my social media, and I'm sure my other officers will be sharing them as well once I post them.
And for me, I've been working on microwaves in the university. I know that this is something that students really want, The problem for now is, of course, the catering is not fully occupied within the university because most of it is online. But when it does come, when it does become back on campus, I think that's something that we need to put in place in the university, and that's what I've been focusing on. Of course, that's not the only thing I've been focusing on. I've also tried. I'm also, I was focusing on the Christmas break. So there was, as part of the GSF Glasgow Students Forum, I was focusing on getting more clarity from the government, and that's what we kind of lobbied as a forum and asked the government to provide more clarification regarding what's going to happen during the Christmas break. How's the testing going to be done? What are the mechanisms in place to support these students? And also more funding for institutions, educational institutions, which include colleges and the universities. Partially, this has been done, but we're still waiting on more stuff to come out of the government, not just regarding the test, not just regarding the the support offered to students, but also in terms of the funding. Yeah, so that's kind of the things I've been involved with recently.
Yeah, Susan, is there anything you want to say that you've been really enjoying right now at work?
I mean, I think that obviously I'm in a lot of meetings, the Safe Return to Campus meetings, everything in partnership with university that affects students, their learning, teaching, and anything that affects their academic interests. So there's a whole range of things. I would say the thing that I'm enjoying the most, I would possibly say, is the putting together the engagement plan for over Christmas. Where I was working in our engagement plan, I really miss being on campus and working with the students. So anything that's student facing is my ultimate favourite thing, because getting in and the meetings are great. You know that you're sort of representing the student. You know that you're the voice for them, and you're making sure that there's equity there. But actually, sort of sitting and talking to the students is, I would say, the best thing. So any meeting that I go in that involves the students, any meeting with representation, yep. Absolutely loving. And just what Adele just touched on what Adele was saying as well. So obviously the safe, for Christmas, the testing for students. I think did about 12 interviews with the multimedia students regarding the testing centre. They are doing that for their assignment, which is great, and it's been great to be able to help them. So this is a 4th year multimedia and journalist student, so good luck to all of them. I've still got a few that I'm going to be doing, and I'm happy to help anybody who's wanting anything on that. So
perfect. So we've just had a comment from Bethany asking about our objectives and where can she read about them. So does anyone want to start by explaining the team objectives?
I can if you want.
Go for it.
Okay, so the team objectives that we've got this year are something that we all put together. We've got our student, we've got our SDG goals and embedding them into the Students Association and the wider GCU community. So that's something that's really important to us. It's quite good because we've all got a lot of our individual objectives and our team objectives sort of all come together, and they all sort of go in with the strategy 2030 of the university as well, and also sustainable development goals is a huge thing. So that's something the 4 of us are working on. We're all on a separate, I think Adele touched on it earlier, we're all on a working stream for the SDG at the university. So the 4 of us are involved in that, as well as the society, and as well as obviously try to embed them into Students Association. So that's our first one. So our second one is building communities. Especially to support students' mental health. We think building communities is really, really important. Obviously, a lot of people are in isolation, living in their own, and we don't want anybody sitting ourselves, not having anybody to talk to. We've also got our groups and our liberation groups. But if we sort of do everything that we can to build these communities, to draw people in together, and we're working on collaboration events with the groups and the representation as well. So that's the second one that's just touched on it. Anybody can jump in a minute for to maybe sort of expand. And the last one is our campaign on racism. So I keep getting it wrong. Say no to race.
Educate, no room for racism.
No room for hate. Educate, no room for hate.
There we go.
That's it. Yeah. So educate, no room for hate, and that is our campaign that we'll be doing for against racism, and obviously working close collaboration with Tabitha because she's involved in so many things for that. So yeah, it's quite good. I think all our individual objectives near enough all sort of fit into the team ones in the wider university. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun working them all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and just to answer the second part, where can I read about them? So they're all on our website. So if you just go to our website, www.gcustudents.co.uk, and you click on our pictures, it'll just take you to where they are magically. So that's where you can find them magically.
Just to give a quick rundown of individual objectives. I won't sit here and explain them all in depth because they are online, but feel free to message me if you have any questions. But I've basically just got one on providing more sports trainings to sports committees. I've got one on working with SCEBI, which is obviously my school, just on the NSS action plan and making sure that the learning experience is as good as it can be for the school. And then my last one is to create a women employment research project just to look at the pathways between female graduates at GCU into external companies. Tabitha, do you want to give a quick rundown of yours?
Yeah, definitely. So my first one is just working on a system where people can put in racial discrimination incidents complaints and get them answered and viewed as soon as possible. My second one is working with the School of Health, which I'm the VP, to help improve the digital literacy of students because we are now all in a digital world. And my third one is working with social entrepreneurship, social innovation and entrepreneurs, and just increasing the knowledge that students have of these opportunities within the GCU community.
Perfect. Adil, do you want to explain yours?
Yeah, so just really briefly, I'll just mention a few. The first one is, supporting international students and making sure there's a wide range of equality and diversity within the association, and ensuring that every voice is represented, which means strengthening all our liberation and representation groups. I'm the chair for equality and diversity, so that's really helpful in terms of this objective and what I'm trying to achieve. I'm also targeting, like I said before, microwaves in the kitchens. Also, as chair for Glasgow Students Forum, making sure that, from a Glasgow side of it, we lobby the government regarding, institutional funding and, the things that come up, such as the recent Christmas break, and also trying to implement HEAR here within the university so that students can benefit from it, and it really helps in terms of employability. This was something that was as a team objective last year. I've taken this up as an individual objective.
Perfect, thanks Adil. Susan, do you want to explain a bit about yours?
Yeah, sure. So my individual objectives, I'll just keep it brief. So it's working on the Student Association Strategy 2025, and it's trying to align that with the university's Strategy 2030. It's also a We All Stand Together campaign. So it's about equality and diversity, which obviously is a fundamental, fundamental at Students Association is equality and diversity. But the We All Stand Together campaign is is having collaboration events within the GCU Student Association communities with groups and individuals. And we will be producing a legacy video that will be going on the website, and we'll be hosting events where different groups and liberation groups come together. And also we'll be investigating and writing a funding bid for Mind Your May and suicide prevention. So started that last year, but then coronavirus happened, so that had to take a back seat. So we'll be continuing that to help with mental health.
Perfect, thanks Susan. So we've just got a question, is how much is a quarantine period, 14 days or 5 days?
So
14?
It's 10 days. No, it's 10 days for the student testing site. So sorry, I'll jump in there. It is 14 days for if
Sorry, I was talking about once you come back to the UK.
Right, okay, so yeah, I'm not sure, yeah, if it's quarantine for you come back to UK, if you test positive, so I know the government say 10 days, it's 14 days, but if you've been tested at the test site, and you are told to quarantine, it's 10 days. So the reason why it's 10 days is because you then have to go and speak to the NHS, and you have to get an NHS test after that if you've had a positive test. So it's 10 days if you are confirmed at the student test site. But yeah, Adil's right. If you're quarantining when you come home, it's usually 14 days.
Perfect. Adele, do you want to say anything else on that?
No, that's about it. So if you're so Mike, if you're coming to the UK from the countries that have been listed by the UK government, which need to be spending time in quarantine, you have to spend 14 days in quarantine. And within those quarantines, within those 14 days of quarantine, it's only essential. You can only go out for essential stuff, such as buying groceries, in which you need to make sure you wear a mask and not get close to anybody and not have any contact with anybody. But yeah, so it's 14 days if you come back to the UK.
Perfect. Thanks both for answering that. Just to give people a reminder, because I know we keep changing viewers all the time, if you've got a question for any specific officer or just as an officer team, feel free to just put it in the comment section. Just to give a quick update on the return to sports. So many people had questions. We've currently got 5 sports teams up and running. However, we have had quite a lot of questions recently about what this means now that Glasgow's in level 4. It basically just means that the sports teams that are up and running can still continue to run. Luckily, none of them were impacted. But it just means that if you don't live local to the training facility, then you won't be allowed to go or travel in for the sport. So it is just local travel. So we've still got men's, women's hockey training. Athletics are doing a social run down in Glasgow Green. We've got outdoor sports doing kayaking, and also snow sports are training again at Glasgow Ski and Snowboard Centre. So just a reminder, if you live near any of the venues or within the 5-mile radius, I think it is, you can still go to training as normal. Nothing's changed about that. However, a lot of the time it does get impacted, as we know that members live all around Glasgow and out with Glasgow as well.
So I've got a wee bit of exciting news though, if you don't mind me saying, about the library. So
Yes.
one of the things I've been working on is discussion with the university on the library. At the moment you can book 3 hours and study space, and it's not been at full capacity as of yet. So there's plenty of space for people if they want to come in and study. Now we're increasing that. To 4 hours. 4 hours plus. So basically you can then book for 4 hours at a time. Once you are in the library, and if you want more time, you can ask the librarians, and if nobody else is booked in, then you can actually extend your time for another 4 hours. So you can actually get 8 hours, which is fantastic. You might have to move tables. It just depends, because certain tables are booked and obviously they do the cleaning. So 4 hours minimum now, and you can get more time. And also on the 2nd floor of the Hamish Wood, just above the library, we are putting together exam spaces. So if you are going to sit an online exam and you're working from home and you've got your wee sister running about screaming, your mum's maybe working as well and she's online, and your Wi-Fi, your bandwidth is poor, then you can book into the library a study space. Again, it's 4 hours for one exam that you get, so you get time to study before it. Or you can actually book, if you've got 2 exams, you can book 2 4-hour slots at a time. So I think that's really helpful and really good for students who are maybe sort of struggling. Their internet connection isn't great. And also we have laptops on campus now and dongles for any student who's struggling with anything digital, whether it's their Wi-Fi and whether it's laptops. There is criteria that fits to get the laptop, and the laptop you will have for the full term of your course. So if you're in the first year and you're doing your honours, you will have that laptop on loan for 4 years, as well as a dongle if you need it. But you return it obviously at the end of the 4 years, because it's still the university's property. But university, I think it's 500 laptops that they get in. We've still got plenty there, and we've still got dongles. So don't be struggling. If you're sitting working off your phone or an iPad, or you don't have great Wi-Fi, then contact the university. The Wellbeing, we'll get the website up, and I'll put it on the comments in a wee minute. And that's available for you, as well as the hardship funds that has been topped up. That's going to be topped up. And there's going to be clear guidance on the website regarding how you can claim for any hardship funds as well.
Great, thanks Susan. That's definitely amazing win for students. I know that a lot of people do have problems studying in their house, for instance, like a busy household or anything. So I know a lot of students will benefit from the study places and being able to actually sit their exams still within the university. So I know that's really a great hit for students. We've just got a question from Jess. Hi, Jess. Will the library be open over the holidays?
Okay, so the library will be open, but it'll be closed Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and it'll also be closed the 1st and the 2nd. Now, obviously, this is holidays, and the staff at this university have been working non-stop. You know, we need to think about their mental health as well as ours. So everybody needs a break. So I'm sure everybody will appreciate that. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, that is the 2 days over Christmas, and then the 1st and the 2nd of January. So if there's anything that you need, what I would say is go and get your book beforehand. Anything you need printed off, that's something else I should have said. The library are now offering 30-minute dedicated printing spaces, so you don't have to book for 4 hours, you know, to go and for a study space just to print something. You can actually book a 30-minute space that you can just go and print off anything you need, pick up your books, and any books that you need download before. What we would say to anybody that's got any exams at the beginning of January is download anything that you need before the 18th. That is when obviously your lecturers, you know, everybody's sort of finishing for 3 weeks. There will be limited IT and obviously the library being open over Christmas, New Year. But just to be on the safe side, we would urge, you know, that by the 18th, make sure that you've got everything you need, you've contacted who you need. If everything's downloaded, then the university have said if anybody's got issue with Wi-Fi, if they've got any issues with uploading anything, you can then take a picture, you know, and you can then sort of send that, you know, and they'll accept that, you know, it'll be timestamped. You can send an email to your module leader if you can't upload, so just bear that in mind.
Perfect, thanks, Susan. Does anyone have anything else that they really want to share for everyone? I know we've had quite a lot of good news this session.
I just wanted to put a mention at our London campus. Obviously, you know, our friends over in London campus are, you know, in the same boat as us. They're struggling with lockdown, different tiers over there as well. I had a meeting with reps in London, so we had a really great talk, and we spoke to them about any issues that they've got. So it's just to say to our London students, any issues, we're here for all of you guys as well. Just drop us an email, depending what school you're in. You can speak to Zoe, Tabitha, or Adil. If there's any other issues in general, you can contact myself. I'm the lead for the London school, and contact your reps, academic reps, with any issues, and they can bring it to me in our sort of monthly meetings. And there's a really great support mechanism in London as well, so make sure that you use it.
Perfect, thanks, Susan. That's great. I was just going to bring up, oh, sorry, we've got a question from Bethany as well here. I missed that one. What are the mitigating circumstances still in place for exams and essays since the pandemic has affected uni?
So in terms of the mitigating circumstances, they've made some changes. The university is actually trying to put forward a new MITS, which is called Fit for Sit, but it's not going to be applied this year while the pandemic is going on. This year, the main difference I would say this year would be that university students no longer need to submit evidence of you know, any health issues or any issues that they think are, you know, have affected their studies. They can actually just declare themselves not reserve their first attempt by just declaring that, you know, they wouldn't like to, they don't think, they think that something has affected them. And so that's, you know, that's how the MITS has changed this year for the pandemic. The university is trying to change a lot of things for the MITS, but of course this is not going to be approved unless it is approved in SAGE, which is the student-led body, and the department reps sit there. So yeah, this year I would say the only main difference would be that students can actually not provide evidence and declare themselves that they've been affected by the pandemic and reserve their first attempt.
And if I could just jump in there, it's the mitigating circumstances. We work in partnership with the university on all aspects, so it's something that we discuss together, and we make sure, hopefully we represent the student voice, and as Adil says, it goes to SAGE, but the university are very good in listening to what the students have got to say and any issues, and this is one of the reasons why they're not accepting evidence this year, is because it's something that we asked for going forward. So I think it's a bit of a win for everybody, you know, and it was really good that the university listened to what we had to say and they put that in process, which means that anybody who's especially continuing students who have had the knock-on effect from last year, from the pandemic, from last term, it just means that, you know, that as Adil said, that there's no evidence required. So I think that's a really positive thing for the student, and it's great for us as well. But we've still got the advice centre that you can contact. So what I would say is you can still contact the advice centre if there's issues that you've got, any other issues, and just to take some advice from them, because there's different factors that come into it. So what I would say, if you've got mitigating circumstances, contact advice centre first and foremost, and they will advise you of the right process. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you, and they're absolutely fantastic. And again, I'll put the email on the comments here.
Perfect. Thanks, Susan. Just as well, I just remembered that the nominations for the Teaching Awards have opened this week. So just a bit about the Teaching Awards. Last year it was an online ceremony. It was a really great online ceremony as well, and it's going to be the same format this year. So the nominations opened on Monday, and they'll be open until the 8th of April 2021. So I've just got them up here because I can't remember all of the awards, but you can nominate teaching staff for awards such as Terrific Teaching, Fantastic Feedback, Creative Curriculum, Super Support for Teaching Staff, Super Support for Non-Teaching Staff, and Sensational Supervisor. So it's a really great way to reward your teachers, lecturers for all their hard work this year. Even being nominated, I know, means a lot to all the staff at GCU. So just a reminder about that. You've got plenty of time to submit your nominations, and then they will go through the shortlisting process, and hopefully we have a really incredible event at the end of April as well. And that's just the email address that Susan put in as well.
What does it have a percentage?
I think you will find that it was an error, and I have put it in now.
I've got something to let the students know as well.
Yeah, go for it.
So we've got some positions open at Student Voice for you students. If you want to be a mature and part-time students officer, or if you want to apply for being a student cares officer, or if you want to apply for being an international students deputy officer, or the disabled students deputy officer, or the mental health and well-being committee member, you can actually apply for these, and I'll try to send in the link below. It's up on the GCU Students Association website. We're actively looking for these members, and it's a lot of fun. I think we've all, at some point, all of the officers have been involved with the liberation representation groups before we actually took office. And it's really fun, and it's really interesting the kind of change you can bring in, while being a student. And you attend Student Voice, you attend these meetings, you become a member of equality and diversity, and it's always good to have your voice representing, the position of your role. And so I would really strongly advise students to go for it. It's going to be really fun for you guys, and it's also good for your CV. Employers these days, they look for these things. They look for your academics, but they also look for what has the student done aside from his studies, and these are the kind of things you want on your CV. So yeah.
Yeah, just going off what Adele said, we've actually recently filled the position of the Student Carers Officer. However, you're still welcome to join the group. You can be as proactive as you want within the group. I know the new officer is very welcome to ideas. She's got a lot of experience, so it'll be really great to hear what she comes up with. But just what Adele said, it is really great opportunities to get involved with. And it's also a way of meeting people within your university that's going through the same things as you, and people that you can relate to. So I definitely recommend, if you're thinking about going for one of these roles or joining the groups, definitely go for it.
can I just jump out and with a plug as well, Zoe, if that's okay?
Yeah,
So
of course.
we have 2 conversations happening in our common room conversations. So we've got one in mental health and we've got one in gender. So on all of our social media, as well as the Students Association, you'll be able to register by clicking the link. So it's basically, it's the first edition of it. You grab a cup of tea, you pull up a digital chair. It's from Thursday the 3rd of November, between 6 and 7 tonight. So basically, our liberation and representation officers will be hosting a number of discussions. It'll be open to everyone, so you don't have to identify to come along to be a member of the group. So the conversation are about building bridges, starting conversations. At times may be difficult to start yourself, and listening, learning about different perspectives. So it's tonight, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night, and just click the link on Students Association website or any of our guys' website to get onto it.
Perfect. Good reminder about that, Susan. So does anybody else have any questions they want to ask just before we finish the session, or anything you guys want to say again? And please, if you're watching, just remember that our inboxes are always open. You can message any of us on social media and we will help you as much as we can, or you can send us an email, and if we can't help, we'll definitely point you in the right direction. But thank you everyone for coming along, and thank you to the other officers for joining me for this. And we will see you again for our next one in a few weeks' time.
Thanks for hosting, Zoe.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye.